श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्ताम् सदा हृदि। रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्। சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
வேதாந்தாச்சார்யவர்யோ மே சன்னிதத்தாம் சதா ஹ்ருதி. ராமானுஜதயா பாத்ரம் ஞானவைராக்யபூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத்வேங்கடநாதாப்யம் வந்தே வேதாந்ததேசிகம். சீரொன்று தோப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்று சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேர ஓமளவும் வாழ்வு.
I think I identified Bhupalam. Okay. Okay, so let us start. Page 31 of Abhaya Pradana Saram of Sri Vedanta Deshika. So we have been seeing the crow episode from the Ramayana. இக்காகத்துக்கு ரக்ஷை பிறவாது என்று இதனுடைய ஹிதத்தை நிரூபித்து பெருமாள் கைக்கொள்ளுகைக்கு ஈடாக இக்காகம் அனன்யகதியாய் விழ வேணும் என்று பார்த்து எல்லோரும் துரத்தி கதவை அடைத்தார்கள். This is a good angle of looking at the known episode of the crow. So all the gods whom the crow approached for shelter from the onslaught of Brahmastra sent with the help of a small blade of grass by Lord Sri Rama was for instructing a palatable advice, giving a palatable advice to the crow that it is always convenient, most convenient to fall at the feet of Sri Rama rather than trying to seek shelter. I mean, Atadhyaya Panini translated. Right. Shisha Chandra. Yes. So the point is instead of falling at the feet of any other god who will not be giving a complete protection. So the crow was given the advice by all people whom the crow approached for shelter. Now they all understood, all of them who have been approached by the crow understood that Lord Sriman Narayana is the supreme, and therefore if somebody else becomes the protector of the crow, In turn, that protector will have to seek the help of the Lord Shivanarayan. It's a roundabout way, what we call in Sanskrit, Shiro Veshtanam. Instead of catching the nose straight away like this, you go take your hand around your head and trying to catch the nose, your own nose. Shiro Veshtanam, we say. Beating around the bush. So all of them realized that, that's the meaning here. All of them considered that Lord Shivanarayana is their master. And again, if some other protector tries to save the crow from the Brahmastra sent by Sri Rama, it would have been a lesser Sharanagati. It would have been an inferior Sharanagati. And this is in an indirect way to compel Sri Rama to grant succor to the crow instead of some god or other in giving protection to the crow. The point here is what we must understand here is the only first step of the Sharanagati, total surrender, namely. Now another new term is given here, nothing to worry, because I told you Kai Mudal Illamai, helplessness, Akinchanyam, Karpanyam. So these are all now given another synonym like Ananya Gatihi. No other refuge is available. A person to whom no other refuge is available. Ananya Gatihi. They all thought the crow will go back to Sri Rama and fall at his feet. That was the right expectation of all the gods, including the father of the crow, namely Devendra. But according to Alvar, it did not unfortunately happen. Even Deshika, Swami Deshika himself. Ilaitodi Virum Kahambo. Ilaitodi Virum Kahambo. The crow got tired, fell down. Fortunately for the crow fell down about 10 feet away from either Sita or Rama. But Rama also did not consider it favorably to give protection to the crow. But here, the most important point that we must understand is Goddess Mahalakshmi in the incarnation of as Sita has taken the responsibility to protect the crow. Now, how did she do it? Did she recommend to Rama that crow must be protected? No. This is where we understand Kurattalvan's Kureshas Sristavam, that Lord is Lord Shivanarayana, either in any form, that is the supreme form or Vyuha form or Vibhava form or Antaryami form or Acha form, is called Ingitagnya. By just a signal with an eye, with an expression from the eye of the goddess, he understands what to be done. Ingitagnya. Tamil use pandrom. Ingitam. The intention of the other, the neighbor, the wife, or somebody will be understood only by intelligent people. And Rama could understand Sita's intention without even the signal from the eye, without an eye expression. So what was in the mind of Sita was understood by Rama, and Rama removed one eye vision from the crow in order to punish for the heinous act, the diabolical sin, and let it go free, scot-free. Let the crow to be scot-free. It actually released the safety of the gave the safety of the soul. Rama did not kill him. Rama did not kill the crow. That is the beauty here. There are so many reading in between the lines that we must understand in Abhaya Pradana Saram. So what did they do? What did the gods do? The gods shut their doors. They shut their doors and they drove him out. They all drove the crow out. And எல்லோரும் துரத்தி கதவை அடைத்தார். They slammed the door in the crow's face. அப்போது வேறொரு திக்கை நோக்கினால் பிரம்மாஸ்திரம் தொடர்கிறபடியும் பெருமாள் எழுந்தருளி இருக்கிற திக்கை நோக்கின போது கொல்ல நினைவன்றிக்கே செருக்கெடுக்க நினைத்திருக்கிற சர்வலோக சரண்யன் திருவுள்ளத்தை அறிந்த பிரம்மாஸ்திரம் கால் தாழ்கிறபடியும் கண்ட காகம் தப்பிப்போக நினைவுண்டாயிருக்க செய்தேயும்.
Akhinyam comes only after the proponent will try with various sources, either another god or another way of things. But finally, in this case, he has not tried, but all others made him to go for Akhinyam.
Either way, Gopala Swami, your observation is very beautiful. I did not expect such an intriguing question, but what you said is, many of us search for some other source and then finally arrive at Sriman Narayana. That is one, that happens. That happens. Many of us, I mean, I don't say all of us. So all of us do not seek other sources, try, fail, and then come to Sriman Narayana. No, that is not it. So many of us realize, among us, many of us realize immediately that we must approach only the Supreme God and not others. That's one thing. And here, of course, being the chip of the old block, that is the son of the father, Indra being a performer of sins, Indra brought him up, and therefore Jayanta, the crow, has to be instructed by all gods, not only his father. So father's advice, Guru Vakya Paripalanam or Pitru Vakya Paripalanam is not easily followed, and therefore children will not listen to the parents very easily. But when others do it, they will definitely do it. And therefore all other gods instructed him to make him reach Sriman Narayana. As you said, you are correct when you say the crow is an ordinary creature. It cannot have the, what we call, discriminating thoughts as a human being. Though Jayanta can be called as a son of God, is godly, spiritual in nature, understanding better than a human being. But still, when he became an asura, as you exactly told us in the sessions, Kakasura. So the demon nature, the demoniac nature crept in, and then he forgot that Lord Sriman Narayana is the Supreme Almighty. Right? Very beautiful question, and therefore this also happens in our case also. Many of us are directed from our wrong path to approach Sriman Narayana, and we realize by the advice of elders, friends, relatives, and so on, that we must seek only the refuge from Sriman Narayana. That's right. I think I'm not elaborating much on your question, but this is right in a way. This is, many of us are crows. as you said. Many of us are crows. And crow did not think of any other, any source of protection before it committed the fraud. That's also another point. Please understand again. Normally, when we too, before committing an offense, we don't think of the consequences of our bad act. It is a spurt of a moment that we commit some sins and later repent for it. The problem with the crow was it did not repent. After committing the sin, it did not repent. Had the crow repented before Brahmastra was sent by Sri Rama, it would have fallen into at the feet of either Sita or Rama, who are nearby each other, and it would have saved its life. It would have saved its face also. Why is this? So these are the points that we must also realize in our Sharanagati. As you said, the Ananyagati, the word Ananyagati, being the equivalent of Asharanyaha, as Ramanuja says in his Gadyatrayam, Asharanya Sharanyaha. We are all Asharanya Sharanyaha initially. And then we understand that Sriman Narayana is there to help us. And therefore, so it is equivalent to Akinchanyam or Karpanyam. The first step itself, we are not aware as human beings. So this is I told you many times, I think in this session, that ahankara mamakara prevent us from thinking on the lines of choosing a good protector, the best protector. Tamas, the ignorance that we have, the rajas, what I told you just now as representing our ahankara and mamakara, the garva, pride, matsaryam, the jealousy, lobhaha, the greed, krodhaha, the fury, all these bad qualities haunt us and forget about the real right source and real source of succor, refuge. That's right. You are right. And again, so now this is a long sentence which we have to attach a lot of importance in this Abhaya Pradana Sara. Now, Brahmastra has got a lot of jnanam, the knowledge. As I told you, any object, any living being, or anything, either Chaitana or Achetana, that is not living being or non-living being, namely sentient being or insentient being, attached to the Lord is always full of knowledge. Brahmajnanam Brahmastrasya asti. Brahmastra has got jnanam. So now it thinks. This is the commentary. So Brahmastram thinks, what happened? The crow is going to take shelter from God, lot of gods. If the crow turns towards all other gods, Brahmastra follows. If the crow turns towards the direction where Sri Rama and Sita were in the forest, Brahmastra stops following. See, look at the beauty. Wherever the Kinokinal, avoiding the direction where Rama was staying in the forest, if the crow goes away, then Brahmastra chases the crow. Brahmastra chases the crow. Perumal எழுந்தருளி இருக்கிற திக்கை நோக்கின போது, so that's what we say in as a sample, Akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagar. As the water from the clouds reach the ocean finally, Sarvadeva Namaskaraha Keshavam Prati Gacchati. Our salutation to all other gods will reach Lord Sriman Narayana. This is what we do because we have got lot of desires to fulfill. Kamaha, Mohaha. The other two qualities which he did not mention just now. That's all. The other three I mentioned already. Namely Krodaha, Madaha and Matsari. Whereas these two, Kamaha and Lobha, rather the desire itself. The desire itself makes us go to different directions. So we worship other gods in order to fulfill our desires. So if we direct our vision towards only Sriman Narayana, the Brahmastra which followed the crow did not have the intention of killing the crow. So what should have happened actually? Rama sent the arrow. That's all. His duty is over. The arrow, what should the arrow do? The arrow should have killed the crow. Punished the crow by itself. It need not wait for another order from Sri Rama. What to do with the crow? Should I kill him or should I bring him back? This is what in war the enemy kings do. So there are some strategies where the enemy is held captive, arrested, brought back to the other enemy with life. Some are killed on the spot. Now, what is the knowledge of the Brahmastra? How does it think? Should I bring the crow to you, your feet rather? Should I make him fall at your feet, O Rama, with life, or should I kill the crow? It's a very beautiful analysis of this crow episode. Now Brahmastra understands the intention of the master also. The master who sent it. Now, what is the intention of Rama? Brahmastra thinks twice. So, Sharukadukka Nenektirukkira Sarvaloka Sharanga. So, that means Brahmastra clearly understands that Rama did not want to kill the crow or does not want to kill the crow. And what is his purpose, aim at punishing the crow? Sharukadukka Nenektirukkira. Rama wants to subdue the insolence of the crow. That's all. Pride of the crow. That's all. Because he is Sarvaloka Sharanya. Because he is the succor of all the worlds. He is ready to forgive, excuse the crow, even if it falls at the feet once. Sakradeva Prapannaya Tavasmi Yachate. The crow need not even beg Rama, but simply say Tavasmi Ticha. Sorry. Sorry, you say sorry. Then Sarvaloka Sharanya will protect, would have protected. So this is the intention of the master as Brahmastra understands. Look at the beautiful English, Tamil expression. Thiruvullathai arinda Brahmastram. Brahmastra, the missile, the creator's missile, understands the intention of Sri Rama. Then, 4. Kal Tazhirapadiyam Kandakava. Now, the crow also observes the activities of Brahmastra. The crow understands that crow also is intelligent. You know the crow's intelligence in our practical life. The crow, as soon as we invite him by its own name, ka, then he comes back. He suddenly arrives at the place where you give a food item. somehow flies from somewhere, hears your voice, and then comes to the food item. And immediately after reaching the food item, it invites other crows. Maybe 20-22 crow may not invite others. It may be selfish. But generally, crow's habit is to share the food along with the other crows. Have you seen the incident, the rather negative incident where when one crow dies or when one crow falls sick and is immovable, then all other crows come and try to help. At least they will cry. They will cry. If it is dead, they will all cry. The unity is there. These are all good habits of crow. That means crow has got a lot of intelligence also. This crow, being the son of Indra himself, has got the understanding. Again, in three ways, what Brahmastra does. Brahmastra avoids crow, that is, does not follow the crow closely in order to threaten him, while the crow is looking at the direction of Sri Rama. If it is not looking at the direction of Sri Rama, instead, if it is looking at the other directions, Brahmastra chases him. First two observations. Number third observation, we are going to see the explanation in footnote also. Kal Talhira Padi. So the Brahmastra is ready to help the crow without harming him, and it may allow the crow to escape. And if the crow, there are 2 points here. So Brahmastra may allow the crow to escape, or the crow may have an intention to escape. So let us see the now. So now Perumal Tirumozhi. It is Thirumangai Alvar's Tirumozhi. Thirumangai Alvar, apart from Kulashekara Alvar, is the next another king among the 12 apostles of Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. So he says the 5th decade, 5th verse in Divya Prabandham. Yengum poi. Let me read the first two lines of Thirumangai Alvar. Just before, and even I think Moolam, it is not available in the Moolam. Yeah, between the Moolam and the footnote. The starred sentence. Yengum poi karai kaanade eri kadal vai meendeyum mangathin koomberu maapparavai. The crow wanted to find the other shore of the ocean. So it roamed everywhere. Yengum poi. It went everywhere. Karai kaanade. Now, the Karai Karnade means it did not find a refuge. So, Karai Karnade is literally speaking, trying to find the next shore, the other shore, other beach. Karai Karnade. Yeri Kadal Vai Meendeyum. So, fortunately, the crow escapes from drowning in the ocean, because when it flies for a long distance, it gets tired. It may fall down into the water and die. So, Eri Kadal Vai Meendeyum. It was possible. It was fortunate to come out of the mouth, the deadly mouth of the ocean. Vangathin Koomberu Maapparavai. So you will find that it comes back to the ship's mast. Vangathin Koomberu Maapparavai. Erigadal is, there are so many rising waves in the motion. So we saw number 1, Anandagati, Veru Puhalatradai. 2, Sherukku Garvam. 3, Abhiprayam. Then 4, Meduvaha Chalukradhi. The observation of the crow is the Brahmastra chases very slow, comes behind the crow very slow when he is approaching the direction of Rama. So Meduvaha Chalayudayam. So now 5 we are now looking at the meaning. Perumal Tirumazhi 5:5. அலையறிந்து கொண்டிருக்கிற சமுத்திரத்தில் the high rising waves do not allow the crow to reach the other shore. And சென்று கொண்டிருக்கும் கப்பலின் கம்பத்தில் உட்கார்ந்திருந்த, so the boat is going, the ship is traveling in the water, but the crow was sitting on the mast, on the high mast, kodikambam. That's what we call dhaja. So it is there on the mast. And பறவை 4 திக்கிலும் போக்கிடம் தேடி பறந்து சென்று, so the bird is trying to find out where the other shore is. The ship is maybe staying in one place also. 4 திக்கிலும், all the 4 directions, போக்கிடம், refuge, shelter, the other shore, தேடி, searched, பறந்து சென்று, flew, கரையை காணாமல், without finding the other shore, மறுபடியும் again அதே கப்பலின் கம்பத்திற்கு வருவது போல. Neither it could find food in the ship, nor it could fly and find out the other shore. So அதே கப்பலின் கம்பத்திற்கு வருவது போல. So this is exact situation as Thirumangai Alvar described it for the crow. So as we do. So we also search for so many solutions to the problems, and then finally drop down to the fact that Sriman Narayana is the final goal. So let us take 32 tomorrow in the next session. Of course, again the same Ramayana words are there, found to Trin Lokan Parikramya Tameva Sharanangataha. It came back to the divine feet of Sri Rama. And of course, Sita was nearby, and they both could save the life of the crow. We understand now by Abhaya Pradana Sara, by reading the Ramayana Shloka first literally, understanding the Govindarajiya Vakhyanam of Ramayana, and then Abhaya Pradana Sara, then you will find so many aspects of the definition of Sharanagati. Even in the first step of Sharanagati, we are not ready. We are not ready. When I told my friend who is nearby, there are so many uncouth desires to be fulfilled. When we waited for yesterday's Garuda Seva of Sri Ranganatha, we felt hungry. I felt really hungry. In Paduka Sahasram of Sri Vedanta Deshika, we understand that as individual souls, we have more problems than Kulasekara mentioned in Tirumala. Pashi, Pini, Moopu, Tunbam, Adalal Peravi Venden, Arangama Nahurunale, he said. He said, Pashi, hunger, Pini, disease, Moopu, the old age, Tunbam, suffering. Beyond that, we have got so many other problems also. Nappashe Vide, a small desire which we don't deserve. So all this get together and create problems for us. So we are not ready to even take even first step, namely Akinchan, Karpanya. We try to make efforts to reach our goal, rather the worldly desire to be fulfilled, then we fail miserably. So in the as the first step itself is not realized by us, and therefore this is what the recommendation from Swami Vedanta Deshika in Abhaya Pradana Saram to take up the Sharanagati process very quickly. As we practically say, we after retirement we will do Baranyasa to our preceptor. This is our thinking.
So Swami, this Govindarajya Bhasha on Valmiki Ramayana.
Ramayana.
Yeah, is it available in? Is it translated into English? No.
I think it is not available. Let us see.
But this is the one that all the Sri Vaishnavas read.
Hmm.
And who was the author? Who was Govindaraj?
No, I mean, I'm not able to. I have been reading it practically, but you mean the biography of Govindaraj?
Yeah, who is the author of that commentary? When did he write it? And is it very old or is it more
very
more
old?
recent?
Very old.
Oh.
There is also another commentary called Tilaka Vyakhyana.
Tilaka by who?
Tilaka is the name of an author
Oh.
for Ramayana. Later on, of course, many commentaries came. Ramanidaya Patram Jnana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimad Venkatanathāryam Vande Vedanta Deshikam Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha Shirondru Tupul Tiruvengadamudayan Parandrat Kanna Paramuriyul Orandru Thane Amayado Dharaniyil Vaalvarkku Vanera Pomalavum Vaalvu.
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम् कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ